Welcome back. The call went out citing the 10th verse of the 2nd chapter of the book of Revelations of St. John. Rector of St. Agnes Anglican Church, Father I. Ranfully Brown today said God is calling all to look at the life of former parliamentarian Teresa Moxie Ingram, who despite the many darts thrown her way, remained faithful.
When it came to a difficult sphere of service, she sought the guidance of her church, her God. When it came to making decisions in life, even in politics, she sought the guidance of her church. Her first day in office as a minister of the then government, she began with prayer with her priest. And she rose up to be a champion for the people. All because in everything she did, God was always first.
Having labored well, Father Brown said Mrs. Moxie Ingram is now deserving of her crown.
Oh, show off yourself, y'all. Fly. Remember the song, "Some that morning, when this life is over, I'll fly away." Show off yourself. No more injections. No more medication. No more doctors. No more high pressure. No more high sugar. No blurry eyes. You have been faithful. So, show off yourself, y'all. And fly away. Go to be at rest, for you have labored well.
The former cabinet minister, senator, and parliamentarian died in her daughter's arms on Tuesday, March 20th. Paying tribute to her life and legacy was Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, who fondly remembered the FNM's meritorious council member as a fearless warrior for what was right, especially women's rights.
Teresa Moxie Ingram was a true 21st century woman. It never occurred to her that she was less than anyone else, or that her gender should limit her career choices or her professional advancement.
Mrs. Moxie Ingram was buried at Lakeview Memorial on John F. Kennedy Drive. In other news this evening, talk of corporate tax growing louder as the Bahamas fights to remove itself from the European Union's dreaded blacklist. But noted chartered accountant Gowan Bowe believes changing the country's tax structure shouldn't be a response to the EU, but rather what is appropriate for the Bahamas that achieves three things.
Ensures that I have appropriate revenue in my coffers in order to manage my economy, is at an acceptable level so that those international persons that are looking in cannot accuse us of simply harboring tax avoiders. And then thirdly, makes us competitive in areas that we want to be. And so when we talk about whether it be corporate tax, or we talk about income tax, or we talk about how we're going to change legislation, to me that is a knee-jerk reaction. This is now saying the Bahamas' current consumption tax-based system has done us well all of my lifetime and before me. That is not going to do us as well going forward.
By the same token, Bahamians said Mr. Bowe has to be realistic and accept that it's more about what tax is relative to the benefits received as opposed to the tax structure imposed. Last December, those Caribbean islands hit by hurricanes last year, like the Bahamas, were given some time to comply with the EU's tax transparency standards. While the government felt the country was in the all clear, 3 months later, the Bahamas was blacklisted. The government is eyeing the end of May to be delisted. When you consider the hundreds of people Sterling Hurricane Hole plans to employ for its $250 million mixed-use development on Paradise Island, coupled with promised opportunities for local vendors and entrepreneurs, the local economy stands to win big and spells good news for all involved, including Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation CEO Edison Sumner.
They intend to employ about up to 700 persons during the construction phase and 500 people permanently after that once it's developed. And that's going to have a significant impact on the economy locally. You're also talking about giving opportunities to vendors and other entrepreneurs who might be able to take advantage of some of the other amenities that this property is going to offer. And then, of course, you're talking about developing what's essentially a vacant piece of land now, one of the last few valuable pieces of properties on Paradise Island. So the fact that you're looking at capital development, capital infrastructure, employing individuals, giving opportunity to businesses to open and to prosper in this environment, it's a fantastic opportunity.
The government has collected $30.9 million in stamp duties and recording fees and stand to collect $3.2 million in ongoing fees, including VAT and national insurance payments. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.